What's going on, Blues? Welcome back to Life as an Evertonian. This is our match preview for the game against Brighton this weekend on a Saturday. Um, Blues, do you know what? This is going to be a difficult one to predict, I think, the lineup probably for the first time in a long while. Um, I asked myself, could there be like a system change, the way Everton came out in the second half? Um, I'd probably say not. Um, but it could be an option. Um, I, for one, am hoping that I don't see Jake O'Brien revert back to right back again. I hope Nathan Patterson is fit enough and he can keep his place. I think obviously it will be Jake O'Brien, Tarkowski. For me, though, if Jared is on it and he's all right, he has to make the team. And it's going to be a matter of time if it's not this weekend when he does. So obviously I'm sat on the fence there in the centre half position, and we've also got Michael Keane available as well. So, for me, I'll be honest, if they were fit, for me it'd be Jake O'Brien and Jared Branthwaite um, as centre halves. God, you could you could see Moyes, couldn't you, doing Jake O'Brien right back, um, Tarkowski, Michael Keane centre half, and Jared Branthwaite at left back. An absolute colossus back four. But it probably will be Mikalenko, who I thought Mikalenko were really poor in the last game. But listen, we're away from home and he becomes a different fullback for us. He just does. And listen, I know a lot of people are frustrated with Mikalenko, but when you want him to do a job like, I don't know, man for man, marking someone like Saka, he does a job. Mo Salah, he does a job. But when you want a fullback that's going to get you up the pitch and create a little bit of intricate play and a give and go with the likes of Jack Grealish, obviously I know Jack's injured now. We ain't got it in Mikalenko. And at least Nathan Patterson on the right hand side offers that somewhat. Um, so yeah, decisions to be made at the back. For me, because we're away, and I were very disappointed the fact that Merlin Rowe didn't even get on the pitch against Leeds United. I was really disappointed in it. I would like to see Merlin Rowe return back into midfield again. If he will or not is another thing. He probably won't. It probably will be again. Adrissa, Jimmy, and I think they'll go for Kieran Dewsbury Hall. But for me, I would like to see Kieran Dewsbury Hall in a deeper role with Jimmy Gardner, um, and Merlin Rowe. And I'd just like to see a lot of intricate change between the three. Um, that's me. And when I think about this left hand side position on the wing, obviously we reverted Illiman and Jai back there, and Dwight McNeil reverted over to the right hand side. For me, it don't work. It doesn't work with Dwight on the right. You think back to last season and they tried it there and he came on against Forest and got that assist for Abdoulaye Doucouré. And then you start questioning, could that work? Could Dwight McNeil be all right on that right hand side, cutting in with his trusty left peg and popping one? But we ain't seen any quality from him at all this season. He looks way off. For me, he will be nowhere near this starting 11. And I'm hoping he's not. Now, on that left hand side, I would love Everton to give Adam Azanu a start. Not as a fullback, but on that left hand side. That little bit of tempo that he did when he came on in the cup. Do I think it'll happen? Probably not. But would I like to see him come on? I would. You know, we've got a squad building back, and Everton have frustrated me. Where listen, we've got three windows of opportunity to make substitutions. We can use five substitutions, and we need to use these players. So question marks. Are we going to go for Tyler Diblin on the right hand side? Are we going to go for Ilman and Jai on the left? Could we see Tyler Diblin coming over to the left? Someone came up with a really good comment in the comment section. And please just leave your comments in the section. Anything that you want to get off your chest. And I always want to hear your thoughts. I really, really do. And I try to make sure that I answer every single comment. So keep them coming, Blues. Honestly. It helps the channel grow, and I really appreciate the support as we're building towards 8,000 subscribers. But yeah, somebody said on my channel, he uses his left. He's both-footed, is Tyler, but he uses his left foot a hell of a lot, and he looks to always like chop it back and put it in on his left. Could we see him just whip balls in with his left peg on the left-hand side and keep Njai over to the right? Will it happen? I don't know, but I'd like to see, swapping over in the game, make the opposition like guess, wondering what's going on, who to mark, and, just a bit of a floor, different feel. And yeah, but Blue. So it's this one is a difficult lineup to predict. We have all our thoughts and our opinions. And again, do you know what? If Dwight McNeil does come on here, does play at the weekend, I refuse to come on here and keep calling the lad. I've had enough now of calling him, because I don't like calling someone, but he has been atrocious this season and just doesn't warrant a start in this lineup. And I think there's players who are chomping at the bit and they offer something, and Tyler needs games. But your bankers, your starters, Ilman and Jai for one, Tierney Barry for another. Everton are linked with strikers. We're moving into the last weekend now at the transfer window. The window's to close on Monday. I've produced some content today on players that Everton are linked with. I personally feel that there is going to be some movement. It's just a case of a matter of when and, what business can get done. I'd love a fullback at any capacity now, whether it's right or left. For me, I think at the moment Nathan Patterson is our best fullback at the club. And you could even see Jimmy Gardner again back there doing a job if Patterson got injured, because the midfield now is getting a bit more robust. So Blues, let me know your thoughts. Listen, it's going to be a tough game against the Seagulls. It really is. I remember Ilman and Jai's goal last season. You think back to that performance that we did when we went there and beat Brighton 5-1. And Dwight McNeil that day was like Dwight Messi. He was unbelievable. But he has gone way off the boil. He really, really has, Blues. And it's a frustrating watch, just seeing him not track his man and just doesn't look at it. So there's players in there I want to see get integrated. I want to see Azanu get a chance, an opportunity. Yes, he might not start, but I want to see him come on. We still don't know the nature of how long Jack Grealish is going to be out for. I've brought content out and there's been a lot of rumours where it's, going to be 3 months up to 12 weeks, not going to see him until mid-April. It might be the case. I mean, come on, we've heard that it could be an operation now. Now, if it's an operation, that could literally wipe his season out. So, yeah, boys, I'm going to leave this one there. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Click that bell to turn on post notifications. Brighton are a very good side. They've got goals all over the pitch. Danny Welbeck is in a good, rich vein of form, still producing the goods at the ripe age of whatever he is. I know he's getting on. But yeah, this is going to be a tough game, Blues, but Everton are on the road. And let's be honest, we know fully well that Everton are a better team away from home. It has been a daunting task heading towards the Hill Dickinson Stadium over this past month. We've not been a good home side at all. few and far between. Have we seen good performances there? There's been some decent ones, Fulham and Nottingham Forest recently, but there's been some appalling ones as well. Some really bad first half games where, you know, we've got a big mountain to climb in that second half, and that was the case against Leeds United. We could have been 2-0 down. We were all the luck. We managed to get in, and yeah, we were unlucky not to get the win, but a game of two halves. It was probably in terms of how well Leeds played first half and what we did in the second half. Yeah, a draw was a fair result. So, Blues, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Click that bell to turn on post notifications. Up the toffees, and I'll see you in the next one.